welcome to my channel. I am so happy that you are here. Do you realize that by watching my videos, you are a part of the Spirit Seeker Squad? That's right. So, what's up, my Seeker Squad? Okay, I have to make this part of the video here. I don't know that I will share it by itself or if I'm going to share it with the Spirit Box session that I'm going to do in regards to Orrin and Orson West, also known as Sincere and Classic. But I wanted to go over a little bit of information with you guys. So on my last video that I just shared, I showed you a sign that I got. Not a coincidence, because I don't believe in coincidences. This was a sign. If you have not watched that video yet, go back and watch it. It is also tied to my Spirit Box session number 4 that I did for the boys. During that Spirit Box session, I heard 4 words multiple times. We heard Ming, M-I-N-G. We heard wood. We heard van. And we heard burn. And we heard all 4 of those words over and over and over. Okay, so when I saw the sign that I got about burn, it started clicking with me that it wasn't related to the boys being burned, but to the fire that happened in the backyard of Wanda and Philip West location, their house. Crenshaw reported that there was a huge fire so large that neighbors thought that the shed was on fire in the West backyard on, I think it's Potomac. Potomac? Is that right? I'm sorry, I butcher names. I have to hear it and then it'll stick with me. But I've heard this name so many times and I'm still messing this one up. So I apologize. But it's in Bakersfield. And if you watch my last video, you can see the report that was made about 5 fire engines that were sent to that location because the fire was so large. Okay, in that video, I was not insinuating that I think that the boys were burned in that fire. I don't believe that. And I'm going to show you why in this video. Warning. I will be sharing somewhat graphic details about the process of cremation. This could be offensive to some viewers, but I will give you another warning before I share all these details. Okay, so I found this website, officer.com, and it talks about burning evidence, burning bodies. And it explains here why I don't think that the bodies were there. I think that they burned evidence, whether that is, blankets, clothes, anything that might have had DNA on it, just anything that might have been related. Because remember, it was in the process of when they thought they were moving to Cal City. They put the bid on the home in Cal City on May 26th, and they thought they were going to have a 30-day escrow. They thought they were going to be in the new house by June 25th or 26th, and June 11th is the day that we had the fire, which is also Orrin's 3rd birthday. So I do know that when a body is cremated by a mortician in the incinerator, it takes approximately an hour to 3 hours for the body to completely be cremated, as much as possible. Because the bones do not burn completely down. Some of them. I watched a video on YouTube from a mortician, and she explained exactly how it happens, the whole beginning to end stages of the cremation process. It was very informative. So I watched that video from the mortician, and I'll link that in the description box. I'm not sure that I'll show it in this section, in this video here, but I will link it so you guys can watch it if you want to. But I do want to read through this article a little bit with you. This is why I don't think that the boys were burned in that fire. Okay, so I don't know how long the fire was going before the neighbors noticed it. Like I said, in the incinerator, it can take an hour to 3 hours for the body to completely be cremated, as much as it will be in that process. But then they have to break the bones down, put them in a grinder, and then they put then it's powder. Then it goes down to the actual powder ashes. But there's a process after the incinerator. An actual fire, like an open fire, does not get near as hot as the incinerator does. The incinerator has a brick outer area. It has a place for the fumes to go, because burning a body... Now, I don't know if you've ever smelled a dead body. Unfortunately, I have. And when they say a house fire and a dead body are two smells that you will never get out of your senses, like you will never forget those two smells, that is 1000% true. Our house caught on fire. We lost our house to a fire when I was pregnant with my daughter. And I smelled that smell when we had to go back into the house and look over what was left and see if we could salvage anything inside of my childhood home. That was excruciating to do. But that is a smell, especially with me being pregnant, that was a smell that I will never forget. I can't even eat smoked foods now because it turns my stomach. The dead body, same way. When you smell that smell, I do know that there is a very distinct smell to a deceased body. And I'm not going to go into why I know that. It's too emotional, but I do know that. Okay, so moving on. Burning a body, a deceased body, puts that fume, the fumes from that body up into the air. So the people who called and reported the fire most likely would have reported that smell also. They would have said it's a huge fire with a horrid smell. I don't think that the neighbors would have left that part out. In the incinerator that the mortician uses, they actually, it's a 2-part section or a 3-part section incinerator. One place they actually put the body in. One place vacuums the fumes into a separate location before it goes through an exhaust system and exits the building. I watched another video about all of that, and I think it might have been a little bit of that was in the same video from that lady mortician that I was referring to. So the smell would be noticeable, and depending on how long the fire was going, there would most likely still be bodies left there in the fire area, the origin of the fire. Definitely there would be bones. So I don't believe that the boys were in that fire. Okay, let's start scrolling through this article here so I can explain where I'm getting all of this information. They talk about coming onto a crime scene and finding a body. People generally believe that burning a body destroys the evidence of how a victim was killed. A wood fire burns at a temperature, right here. A wood fire burns at a temperature of between 800 and 900 degrees centigrade. In a crematorium, where a body is supposed to be fully reduced to ash, the temperatures are considerably higher. They vary from 1100 to 1500 degrees centigrade. Okay, even in this situation, the bones are not fully decomposed, and the large fragments are then ground up in the final preparation. Okay, so an open fire only burns at 800 to 900 degrees. To completely burn a body, to cremate the body, the fire needs to be approximately 1100 to 1500 degrees. If they would have put the boys in the fire, God, I hate even saying that. If they would have put the boys there, it would only break down the skin tissue And, well, let me scroll down here because I'm pretty sure that they break it down a little bit more. The steps of how it happens. Okay, human bone is composed of minerals, collagen, and water. Water makes up 6% of bone by weight and 11% by volume. When the bone is burned, heat dehydrates the bone, driving out the water and destroying the collagen structure. Burning bones are subjected to heat-induced expansion and shrinkage, and the existence of a thermal gradient depending on the location of a specific bone in the resulting fire. If a body has been dismembered before burning, remember in our previous sessions we did get disembodied or dismembered, I forget the exact word, but something that, made me think they broke the body down. And in session number 4, we got knife and axe. So if a body has been dismembered before burning, the tool used, for instance, hatchet, saw, large knife, etc., will leave a characteristic pattern of cut marks on the bone. Often there are several marks made by the same weapon, and these usually represent false starts made by the perpetrator in attempting to saw or cut through the bone. These marks often represent as W or V shaped marks that can provide valuable evidence about the type of tool used for the dismemberment and guide investigators in the search for a weapon. The burning process leads to dehydration of the bones, but the relative pattern of the cut marks may still be maintained. Okay, so that's very interesting to know, just to know. Warning, this is the part where we get more graphic about the details of burning a body. Okay, this article here, this is the one that talks about what happens to a human body when they're burned. This is futurelearn.com, and the title is What Happens to Human Bodies When They Are Burned. Okay, and it shows examples here. Fire is a very destructive force capable of great damage. Burned human remains can be found in a range of situations. It is important to note that the skeleton does not, quote, turn to ash upon burning. Even within modern crematoria, which burn efficiently and at high temperatures, the skeleton will survive. The skeletal remains are then raked from the cremator and the remains placed in a machine known as a cremulator, which grinds the bones down into ash. This is because people don't want to scatter recognizably human fragments of their loved ones. Okay, so bodies during burning. The human body is made up of soft and hard tissues, and fire will have a dramatic effect on both. Fire can be fatal in different ways, but the most common are either due to the heat or suffocation from the smoke produced. Okay, well, we know that that's not what we're going for here. Okay, so the fire will cause the soft tissues to contract, which causes the skin to tear and the fat and muscles to shrink. The internal organs will also shrink. The muscles contract due to burning, and this causes the joints to flex. As a result, burned bodies are often contorted into what's known as pugilistic or boxer pose. This is most clearly seen in the flexed bodies recovered from the ancient city of Pompeii, when many died from the extreme heat of the pyroclastic flow of the volcano. I'm not even going to mess that word up. Okay, burned bones. The heat will also cause significant changes to the bone. The skeleton does not burn in a uniform way. Some bones will burn at a higher intensity than others due to factors such as body fat distribution, proximity to the heat source, etc. For example, the humeri below are from the same individual, but the darker one on the left was burned at a lower intensity to the one on the right. which has become completely calcined. Okay, so here's the difference in the bones. These are arm bones, the humeri. Okay, quite often the peripheral bones of the hands and feet will not be burned to such a high intensity as those are the center, or as those at the center of the body, where most fat is located. Body fat acts as a source of fuel, and people with more fat will burn at a higher intensity than very thin people. Bone goes through 4 stages of transformation when it's burned. Okay, first step, dehydration. The removal of water from the bone due to moisture evaporating in response to the heat. This occurs at a temperature range between 100 to 500 degrees Celsius. And then they have the picture here, an unburned fragment of animal bone to the left, and a partially dehydrated fragment of animal bone which has been burned at a low temperature on the right. Okay, stage 2 is decomposition. The organic component of the bone, the collagen, is lost. And they have the pictures here. Fragments of animal bone that have been dehydrated due to the burning on the left, and fragments that have decomposed due to higher intensity burning on the right. Okay, so this is a good example here. If they put the boys in that area in the fire, with it being an open outdoor fire, the bones on the left is what it would look like. So the firemen that would have shown up to assess the fire would have noticed bone fragments or pieces of bone laying there in that fire. Inversion, stage 3. Changes to the inorganic mineral part of the bone, the carbonates. This occurs at a temperature range between 500 and 1100 Celsius. And then they have the pictures. Decomposed fragments on animal bone on the left, and fragments showing inversion on the right due to higher intensity burning. I wonder how long it takes for the burning process to get to stage 3. That's one thing that it does not say. Okay, number 4, stage 4, is fusion. The crystals that form the bone mineral start to melt and coalesce together. This occurs at a temperature range of 700 to 1200 Celsius. Okay, the pictures. The fragments on the right show evidence of fusion together due to higher intensity burning. These 4 stages are not discrete phases. A given bone could be experiencing all 4 stages in different parts at the same time. What do these changes mean? These stages result in a number of alterations to the bone structure and appearance. These can make it more difficult for anthropologists who are trying to use these burned remains to produce an osteoprofile. The dehydration and decomposition stages cause an increase in porosity, small holes in the bone, which leads to increased fracturing, fragmentation, and breakage. This is why burned remains are often very fragmented, and they're also very fragile. In the video that I watched where after the body was burned and they showed the fragments of bones left in the incinerator, when they touched it with the rake or the broom that they were using to put the ashes in the box, the bones broke down just from touching it with that rake. So they also become very fragile. The loss of organic material also causes significant color change. For many decades, anthropologists and archaeologists have tried to use color change in burned bone as a way of predicting the temperature reached during the burning. Then they use this information to make inferences regarding the burning event. As bone burns, its color moves from a natural creamy brown state to a dark gray to black to a light gray and then to a pure white. The problem with using color in this way is that it is not only temperature that influences the color change, but also the duration of burning, the oxygen levels, the amount of soft tissue, and so on. The inversion and fusion stages result in reorganization of the mineral structure of the bone, which leads to shrinkage, reduced porosity, increased crystallinity, I'm so bad, I'm sorry, I'm being silly now, and a conversion to a more ceramic-like material. I'm trying to lighten the mood a little bit. This is such a dark subject that we're talking about right now. Like, I have to find something humorous. I try to see positive in everything negative, and this is just such a total negative thing, no matter which angle you look at this case from. So, I'm sorry. I don't have dark humor, but I do like to see positive in the negative. So, you know, that's who I am. I can't help it. Okay, let's see. In fact, when the bone is very well burned, it becomes calcined, and it can then feel and sound a bit like ceramic. So bone burned at a high intensity can actually preserve much better in the ground than bone burned at a low intensity because of this change to a more ceramic type crystal structure. Okay, so it shows some pictures down here about what they just talked about. So bone 1, low intensity burning. So it has a lot of the holes there, which is the porosity. That's probably how you say it, porosity. I'm sorry. Medium intensity burning. It has more cracks in it than the low intensity. And it also has deeper holes. It doesn't look like there are larger holes, but they are most definitely deeper holes. And then the high intensity burning has very small pinpoint holes. And it's very smooth. There's no cracks at all. Okay, so the whole point of this was to show if they had put the boys in the fire in the backyard on Potomac Avenue, when the fire department showed up, they would have most definitely seen bones in the fire. So I do not believe that they put the boys in the fire. I believe that they burned evidence in that fire. And I believe that they did that because they were trying to get rid of the evidence before they moved to Cal City. They were living in an apartment complex. They obviously couldn't have a big, huge bonfire at the apartment complex, like I said in my last video. So they went to mom and dad's and fired it up in the backyard. And if they used some type of accelerant, by the time the fire department showed up, if it was some type of cloth that they were burning, it most likely, most definitely would have been completely gone before the fire department got there. If the area was a 4x4 foot section and it looked like the shed was on fire, that is a huge freaking fire. And I'm sure that it probably got pretty hot, but I don't think incinerator hot. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to upload this video by itself. I will upload the spirit box session after I am done with this video. I have not done the session yet. I was going to link these two together, but we're almost at a half hour now, so I will separate them. I will put this one by itself. So let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Spirit Seeker Squad, let's chat about it in the comments. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Do you see where I'm coming from now? Do you still think that there is a possibility that they did try to burn the boys in that fire in the backyard and the firemen just maybe didn't notice the bones? And do you think that they were just trying to burn the evidence because the boys are buried someplace else? in a very shallow grave covered with rocks and wood and sticks and brush and debris and all of that out at Lake Ming. That's my theory. That's what I'm going with. I think they were just burning evidence in the backyard on Potomac. I think that they took the boys, dismembered or not, which I do think that they were dismembered. They put them in a location north of Lake Ming by Creekside Road, and I believe that they used an axe to do it. And the axe is by Paula Street in Bakersfield. Now, all of that information that I just shared with you can all be seen if you go back and review my Spirit Box sessions in regards to Orrin and Orson West, or Sincere and Classic. Every single one of those descriptive words that I just shared with you were said by the spirits to me, whether the word popped up on the screen or it was a verbal word that they actually spoke during my Spirit Box sessions. So I do have them numbered. If you want to watch the Spirit Box sessions, go back and watch them. I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I also did my pendulum sessions, and there are 3 of those. I try to ask very direct, specific questions so that I get very direct, specific answers. So Spirit Box session number 5 will be done as soon as possible. I feel like it will be done today. So shortly after you see this video uploaded, you will know that I am working on editing the Spirit Box session number 5 so that I can get it uploaded. It does take me a few days to go through and edit that because depending on the length of the session, it takes a lot of time to go through and put each word on the screen. You can see that, how I do that, in sneak peek number 1 or sneak peek number 2 in regards to Spirit Box session number 1, or I'm sorry, Spirit Box session number 4. So I try to be open and transparent with you guys as much as I possibly can. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask in the comments. I do read every single comment. So let's chat about it. Make sure you're subscribed. Ring the bell so that you don't miss when I upload my next video. Hit the thumbs up if you like this video, or the thumbs down if you don't. Either way, I like feedback, so I am very interested to know what you think about this video. Share this video out. We need to spread the word. This is kind of part of the rumor situation. We don't want rumors to be spread without the fact-based information to back it up. So we are getting these ideas and theories because of my Spirit Box sessions, because what was said from the spirits, and the documents in regards to the fire. So I'm using fact-based information and information that was spoken from the spirits during my Spirit Box sessions. So that's it for now. I love you guys bunches. Until next time. Hey, thanks for watching this video all the way to the end. Please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and ring my bell if you enjoy this type of content. Leave a comment below with any questions or suggestions that you have. I do read all comments. I need your help to fit the puzzle pieces together that we learned in this video. No bad vibes here, please. No drama. My channel is a safe place for all of you. Leave your thoughts about this puzzle below in the comments so that we can figure this out together. We discuss true crime and paranormal here. I'm bringing true crime stories and missing person cases to the spirits. I'm getting the spirits to help us find answers and hopefully solve questions we all have. So again, make sure that you're subscribed and ring my bell so that you don't miss my next video. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, or the thumbs down if you didn't. Share this video out on all of your social media so that we can spread the word about this case. And don't forget to read the description box. There's a lot of great info, including the link to the Spirit Seeker Squad Facebook group, and so much more. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day.